Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Recha Kodesh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Leviticus, the 12th chapter. And this mainly deals with the laws concerning childbirth, all right, and the purification, okay, of the mother for birthing children. So this is Leviticus chapter 12, verse 1. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a woman have conceived seed, that means she has become pregnant, and born a man-child, that's a male, then she shall be unclean 7 days, according to the days of the separation for her infirmity shall she be unclean. And this days of the separation is dealing with her menstrual cycle. So if she gives birth to a male, she's going to be unclean for 7 days, just like it would be for her menstrual cycle. Okay. And because when a woman is on her when she's menstruating, she becomes unclean. And when you go into that word separation of infirmity, it's dealing with the same thing, right? Nada, all right, it says here menstruous, right? Set apart, menstruation. If we look over here into the infirmity as well, hence, most women will complain about cramps, or pain, or their emotion. They'll be, pretty emotional, right? To be ill, unwell, to be sick as if in menstruation. So what the Lord is saying here is if a woman gives birth to a male born, then she's going to be put apart as unclean, all right, or she's going to be unclean 7 days, according to the days of her, like how if she would be unclean if she was on her menstrual cycle. And this is due to the blood from childbirth. And in the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. So you would circumcise the child. And she shall then continue in the blood of her purifying 30 days. And so that makes a total of 40 days. So she would be, as it says, continue in the blood of her purifying, meaning after this combined period of 40 days, would she then be clean or cleansed from the blood of childbirth. Okay. It says, she shall touch no hallowed thing, so nothing that is holy, nor come into the sanctuary until the days of her purifying be fulfilled. Okay, so it's 40 days if she gives birth to a male that she would be set apart, or, obviously not be allowed to touch any hallowed thing or come into the sanctuary, as those would be considered the days of her purifying. But if she bear a male child, so if she has a female, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks. So as it says, as in her separation, like if she was on her menstrual cycle, and she shall continue in the blood of her purifying 66 days. And that's 66 days, right? Plus additional 14 days for the 2 weeks, which makes a total of 80 days. So for a male, she would be unclean for 40 days. For a female, she would be unclean for 80 days. And when the days of her purifying are fulfilled, for a son or for a daughter, she shall bring a lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, and a young pigeon or a turtle dove for a sin offering, onto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, unto the priest, who shall offer it before the Lord Yahweh, and make an atonement for her. And she shall be cleansed from the issue of her blood, and that is from the blood of childbirth. She would now be cleansed. Because, there are certain things that make you unclean that people are not aware of. And some, like, for example, the act of sex, right? That makes you unclean. And here you're seeing here, right? Obviously the blood of menstruation, and also the blood of childbirth. This is the law for her that hath borne a male or a female. And if she be not able to bring a lamb, then she shall bring 2 turtles, or 2 young pigeons, and the one for a burnt offering, and the other for a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for her, and she shall be clean. And let's look into this here. Yeah, so when it says turtle, it's referring to a turtle dove, not a shelled animal, you know, over there. So so the Lord has it to where if you can't bring the lamb, there's an alternative you can bring, and the priest would offer that to make an atonement for her, and that way she would be clean again. So, as we go through these laws, you start to see just how detail oriented and intricate and specific they are in things that you do and in things that you don't do. And it goes to show you why we truly do need Yahweh Shai, because especially in captivity, we don't have the luxury or the ability to be able to do these things. And in this time now, having lost the pureness or the exact details, right, in understanding how these things are done on a daily basis, it would be difficult even if you were to try and reenact it or to do it how it was required for it to be done. Because back then, during this time of Leviticus, the Lord instructed Moses, right, and Aaron, and they were able to teach the people. So the people knew how it should be done. And if there was something wrong, the Lord would be able to tell them, no, not that way, this way. And so they would know how it's done, not just theoretically, but on a practical level. Like, this is how you kill the animal, right? This is when it says you put her away. These are the things you do. And that specifically, those practical ways of living would be passed down, right, with the younger generation, and down and down and down. So this would be something that, as a nation, you would know how to handle practically, right? We lost that, right? Because we've had periods of time in history where we've lost that generational teachings of understanding what these laws actually look like in implementation. So today, right, having fallen away for so long and now coming back to it, it wouldn't be the same. You wouldn't be able to do it the way that the Lord set it up to be done. Which is why it goes to show, and that's why it's important that the Lord sent Yahweh Shai. And that's why it's important to understand that it's not necessarily through the law that we're going to gain salvation, because we cannot, all right, keep this perfectly, which would be the requirement. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the book of Leviticus, the 12th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha, Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.